What's up? My name is Tim Sykes. That's my car. Come on in. So I wanted to give you a little glimpse of my lifestyle. You know, I work hard, I live well, and what you should know about me is that I like to go big. This is a big house. Sometimes I stay in big presidential suites. When you work hard and you make a lot of money, you know, you gotta go big. Yeah, okay, I'm done with that. Whoa! So let me show you where I actually spend most of my time. This is basically what I do all day. Just looking at stocks, researching stocks, and then teaching other people. Most traders lose money in this industry, but with a community of actual successful traders behind you, you can do a lot of things that never were before possible. So it's kind of my baby right here. I'm very proud of it. You know, it's not the normal 9 to 5. Sometimes I'm working 10 hours in the day. Some days I don't even work. So it doesn't matter where I am. All I need is the internet, and I can work from anywhere in the world. I mean, I've been doing this for nearly 2 decades now. I got started when I was young. I've reached all my goals, and I'm not afraid to show it off. You know, once you make it, you should show it off. But I'm never stopping challenging myself. I'm always looking for more students. I'm looking to create more millionaires so that more people can have views like this. This is why I love this place, okay? Just look at this, you know? Financial freedom is the goal for everybody, and it should be, because once you have that, you can do whatever you want. You can travel the world, you can get big places like this. That should be your goal so that you can really, really focus on what you love in life and not work for somebody that you hate. Thank you guys for coming over. I'm glad you got to see a little bit of the way that I live, the way that I work, and you know, some of the fun that you can have when you work hard. See you later. This is not like Vegas where you have to put money on black or red and you double your money or you lose everything. You know, you can exit a trade for a 1% gain or a 1% loss. Sometimes I have a busy schedule today. Like I'm filming all this stuff today, right? So I exited my trade earlier today and I missed out on potential profits, but it's for my schedule. So you can do this however much you want. You know, I don't think you guys are going to be full-time traders. You're not going to sit there all day. You're going to be like, hold on, I can't, film today on TV. I'm trading. I don't think that's going to be you. I think this is like, okay, if there's an opportunity in the background, let me try and make a few extra bucks. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe you guys do want to be full-time traders. It doesn't matter to me.
What's considered full-time? How many hours a week?
Well, so like my student in Colorado, Tim Grattani, probably 15 hours a day, 13 hours a day, he's watching, researching, creating spreadsheets at night of stocks that interest him, and he's the one who took 1,500 and turned it into 2.7 million. So he's insane. We took him to the Maldives, and I was like getting drunk at night, we're filming all day, and I'm like, oh, this is the Maldives. And he brought his computer to the dinner table, and I'm like, and I shut it, and I shut it in the middle of his trade. I shouldn't have done that, but I was drunk, right? And so he's like obsessive. So you can. That's his personality. That's his personality. And that's why he's been so successful. I mean, I show you a few examples. He has probably, 200, 300 different spreadsheets on his computer showing different kinds of patterns. Like here's 50 companies that are up 5% today. Here's 50 companies that are up 7% over the past week. Like he has different scans and he sees how well those scans do in every market. So you can be like that. I'm not that meticulous. I can't even work a spreadsheet. I'm not good at math. He's great at math. But then I also have some people like Tim Bowen, who's actually coming on the Steve Harvey show with me. And he makes roughly 50 grand a year, does this as a side job. He takes a look 5 minutes in the morning. If there's a hot play, he might buy it. If there's a stock that's too hot, he might short it. Maybe trades for a half hour in the morning, then closes up shop. So there's so many different, and everything in between. You know, you can choose your own time. My point in what I try to teach you is to recognize basic chart patterns like this, because this is called technical analysis. This is still not accepted in the finance industry. Like what I teach is like, I'm like voodoo. It's like most people value companies based on earnings and profits. Charts shouldn't matter. As a trader, charts are all that matters. You know, I don't care if Meet Me increase their earnings estimates from 25 million to 26 million. I'm not interested in the numbers. I'm interested in the catalyst, the fact that they're even increasing earnings. That means they're doing something right. The fact that their stock is uptrending, they're doing something right. This company, it's in an oil business, which is just a shit business. It doesn't matter how well you're executing. It's a tough business, and it's going down. So I'm a big believer in long-term trends, and I'm trying to see, what trend really matters. SSN, even though it was going down, spiked up here. Will that trend hold? And the answer already, it's dropping 20% every single day. The answer is no, because oil is a terrible, terrible company and industry to be in right now. Meet Me is in the hot social networking business. There's a lot of wannabe social networks, but this one is actually increasing numbers. So I'm trying to judge, is this company doing well? Is there a good chance of it spiking more? Or is this company doing badly and it's probably going to go back down to zero? That's it. It's a very simple game. It's not like, oh, this company is releasing a new product in China. I think it's going to do well. I don't give a shit. These companies have one product. That's what makes them so much fun. With Apple, you got 32 products. The iWatch might have bombed, but their other 30 products are doing great. So how do you value that in the stock? I don't know. I like companies with one product, either succeeding or failing. Any questions so far?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out as far as Meet Me, as far as the information, right?
Yeah.
Like I see it's fluctuating and then it spikes up.
Yeah.
Do you stay? Of course, it's a judgment call for you. Do you stay on contingents of what you reading? What they say?
No. So the fact that, the press releases are easy to spot. So they basically said this press release, Meet Me raises full year financial guidance. So I read the press release, it's positive. In my mind, it's a positive press release, it's a positive catalyst. Is it very positive? Is it a little positive? Will it spike the stock 20 cents? Will it spike the stock 50 cents? I don't know. And as it turned out, from my buy, at 368, it's now up 60 cents a share. So it's up 15% in 2 days since I bought it. I got out for like 3% gains, so I underestimated it. But do you guys play pool at all? Yeah. When you hit, and I'm terrible with pool names, but if you hit the ball and you call the pocket that it's going to be in, right? If it goes in another pocket, you still hit the ball in a pocket, but it's not the one that you called. So for me, I go into every single trade with a very specific plan. I wanted this stock to spike right when I bought it, within the first hour. But because the overall market was collapsing, and in the back of my mind, I'm thinking 3 out of 4 stocks follow the market, I'm not going to risk it. If the market had been strong overall, I might have given it more time. I'm not going to go back in time.
So you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I didn't take my medicine like Jimmy just said. You bet on it spiking just a little bit for you enough to get just 15-20%, and then boom, and you'll get out no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what.
I will.
Anything else, even if you shorten it.
Exactly.
You're like, all right, it's going to short, so I'm going to bet against it for the next hour, and then I'm going to drop.
Exactly, 100%. So today, for example, EARS, I'm playing pool and I'm calling, a certain pocket. I'm sure there's better pool terms. I don't play pool. I don't have time for any of that shit. But so with EARS, here's a 5-day chart, and you can look at different multiple time frames, and I like this. So actually, I probably should show a 3-day chart. Oh, I guess 2 days is fine. So with this one, yesterday it's downtrending, downtrending, downtrending. The low right here is 650. But it also, this was the beginning of today. So it was downtrending all day, and remember, this stock is up from the 4s. So it's gone from 4s to the 6s. I don't think this is a good company. I think this is going to come down. The question is, how will it come down and when will it come down? So you want to remember recent lows. So the recent low here was 650. It came back up here to 7-ish, and I'm shorting it, betting against it, that it's going to come back down to 650. And if and when it comes back down to 650, it's going to crack, which actually it did perfectly. But before it cracked perfectly, it also spiked for a little bit. And I cut losses. I got out roughly break even because of my schedule today. So even though it did exactly what I wanted, it didn't do it in the time frame that I wanted it to or that I needed it to. If I wasn't filming, if I was just sitting in front of a computer, I don't know. I have a busy life. I try and fit in trading around that. The worst thing that you can do, though, is just hold and hope. Even though I went in with a plan, I knew that I was filming. So I did not want to just hold this and leave it. Like if you go to Vegas and you put $10,000, you say, oh, I got to go take a dump. Let me just watch those 10,000 for me. People will steal it, You can't leave your money on the table. That's how I trade. Right. Tim Grattani, my student in Colorado, he differs a little bit. He's always watching, so he's, he doesn't want to film. We invited him on the Steve Harvey show. He's like, no, I'm sorry, I got to focus. That's cool. That's his thing. So it depends on your schedule. It depends on your own, mindset.
Right. Okay. Yeah. When you don't have as much patience, you want to give that stock an hour, maybe hour, 2 hours, or whatever. If that. Sometimes you want to gamble a little longer, but your whole premise is to get in and out as fast, no matter if it goes up or down. Regardless.
Correct. Because if I'm right, and sometimes I'm dead on right, and I make 10, 20, 30% in an hour, I'll give you an example right here.
What's your minimum maximum of literally betting on that stock?
So it depends on...
Jimmy worked in it, I didn't, so I'm trying to figure out exactly.
Yeah.
Do you bet 500? Do you bet 2,000 on that? How does that go?
So it depends on the chart pattern. It depends on your schedule. It depends on,
Does it depend on your pocket?
Yeah, yeah, it depends on your pocket. A lot of my students only have $2,000 to their name, so they're not going to bet 2,000. I never say go all in. If they have 2,000, I might say, okay, maybe use like 300 or 400. Use like 20% of your account or 30% of your account. For me, for a lot of people who take on trading, I trade in order to teach at this point. I'm trading with a $12,000 account, and I was trying to calculate this. I'm trading with roughly 1/6,000th of my net worth. And I'm like, it doesn't matter if I bet 12,000, if I bet 20 grand, if I bet 5 grand. It's very small. But at the same time, I don't want to go all in. I don't want to teach the wrong things. If you go into a trade with a few $1,000s, go in with a target. So let's say you open up an account with $5,000 and you say, okay, I'll give this a shot. I'm going to bet $1,000 on this one, long or short. Whenever you go into a trade, I don't want to just
1,000 at one particular stock.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I only do one stock at a time. There are some traders, they take like 5 trades. I don't know how to do that.
Does the kid Tim do that?
Yeah, well, he sometimes takes 2 positions, but it's very concentrated. Because again, we're trading penny stocks with very specific chart patterns and very specific catalysts. Some days I don't even trade. It's not like trading Amazon or Google where there's so many movements every day you can make $1 here on a $300 stock. I'm trying to find stocks that are going to move 20, 30, 50, 100% in a day or two.
Okay, so let me ask you this one.
Yeah, shoot.
I can take like Meet Me.
Yeah.
And I say, all right, you know what? I'm liking Meet Me. I'll take $1,000. I'll buy some shares on Meet Me, and then I'm gonna do that for the next 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
I make about 30% of my money, 20% of my money, whatever. I get off of it.
Yeah.
I'm done now.
Yeah.
Sold it, right?
Yeah.
I sold it.
Yeah.
And then I go to EARS.
Yeah.
And then I do that, like, that's what you mean, like individually?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
like EARS 1,000, Meet Me 1,000,
Correct.
all at the same time.
Sometimes I'll have 2 positions at a time, but very rarely. Most of the time, there's one hot penny stock that all the traders are playing. The cool thing with these stocks is that because these companies don't really matter, their businesses don't really matter, it's more about finding where the mob of traders are. Because the mob of traders are very fickle. So they'll bid a stock up just because it's hot and they're trying to ride it. And then when there's no more to ride, then you can actually ride it down. So it's very, binary. Up and down, buy or sell, one product, succeed or fail. So that's why I like it. It's so simple. But let me show you an example here. So this was last year I had a record year. I made nearly $1 million trading. But this one chart, I want to show this.
Wait, last year you did?
Yeah. Well, this was 2014, so I guess a year and a half now. I started the year with 500 grand, and I made about 840,000. This is the kid from Colorado. These are my first 2 millionaire students. This is the man Wolverine. And I told Steve Harvey people, I was like, I'm gonna have some of my students on. Like, how do you feel about like people who aren't really good at manscaping? And the producer was just like, wait, what? And I was like, I was referring to him. He's my first millionaire student. He's kind of crazy. Once you look at these numbers enough, it's all kind of crazy. Where's the chart? Get to the chart. I don't even have it. EK.
Have you ever traded before?
No, just when I was, when I was working at Dean Witter, going through the process.
Have you gambled at all?
Gamble, yeah. I mean, you roll dice, right?
I don't gamble. I don't like it because the odds of those games are not very good. So here's a good example. So this was, I took some of my students on this $12 million yacht for the TV show Below Deck. I do these little shows every now and then. And I was like, oh, I got to trade live for this, TV crew. And so I went big on this stock. So this is EKSO. This is the chart. So each one of these candles represents one day. So it's doing nothing, it's doing nothing, it's doing nothing. But right here, it gets written about. EKSO, actually, they have a good product. They make this robotic exoskeleton for people who can't move anymore. Now, using the exoskeleton, they can push commands and they can actually walk. It's actually an amazing product, but not really a good business. Each suit costs like $200,000. Most people can't afford that. So they sell like 50 of them. It's not a scalable business, but it's amazing. On this day right here, you can see here, so it's kind of doing nothing, It's hanging around $2.40. But right here, it gets written about on CNET. And there's an article that says, this company can make people walk again. And there's a picture of this lady walking in St. Peter's Square in Italy. So it's like, oh, it's amazing. And it's like, the publicist, whoever did that, was a genius, right? But that story started getting spread around. I don't care so much about the news until it reacts to the stock. The news is nice. That's beautiful that this person can walk again. But
Right, so if you see it jump up, that's when you start to buy.
correct. I don't want to be the first one to buy. I want to piggyback a move that's already happened. So the article was written right here. You can see this green day. I bought it right here, frankly, because the TV crew was in my face and I wanted to prove that I was like this, big swinging dick. So I bet like $350,000. I normally don't bet that big, but I was like trying to do this on the yacht. And the yacht had terrible Wi-Fi, so I actually had to call in my order. It's all filmed. I'm like, this is going to make for great TV, right? So I bought this in the fours because the stock is breaking out and because I'm buying it on a Friday. So January and Fridays are two very important kinds of seasonality for me. January stocks can spike because of the tax loss selling. Friday stocks can spike because the news can spread over the weekend. A lot of people are busy during the week. You don't have time to read. I think the CNET article came out on a Wednesday. But it started getting sharing on social media on Thursday and Friday. And then on the weekend, everyone saw it because people take time off and they're like, wow, this is an amazing story. So I bought this $350,000 worth at around $4.96. On Monday, because so many people were amped up about this story, it opened up at $6 a share. I took profits because I had the biggest profit. I made $70,000 on this yacht. It was all filmed. They didn't end up showing any of it. Pissed me off. But I went big because of the situation I was in. Normally I probably would have bought 5,000 shares and made 5,000 bucks. But I was in it specifically for $1 a share. But this was my goal here. Even though
So Monday you cut your loss right there.
I cut my profit. Yeah, because I went in with a plan. When I bought this stock, I specifically said, I want to buy it in the around 5 and I want to sell it on a Monday gap up. I didn't know if the stock would gap up to 550.
No matter if it was going up anymore.
Doesn't matter. Even if it didn't gap up, I would cut
You
out.
didn't want to wait till like Tuesday or Wednesday, huh?
No, because I go in with a specific plan. I'm playing pool and I'm trying to hit it into that stupid pocket.
Yeah, you can't be greedy, huh?
You can be greedy, but you learn.
So what day did? All right.
So an hour after I sold at 6, it went to 8. So I could have made $200,000. But I don't care. I made $70,000. It paid for the entire yacht trip. So even though they didn't show it on TV, it was good karma because I took my students and it was a free yacht trip for a few days. But that's what I want to teach you. I go in like a sniper. If it doesn't work, I'm out. Aim small, miss small. That's my philosophy. My name is Tim Sykes, and I teach people to trade stocks. I am a self-made multimillionaire. So this is the ideal trade that I'm going to talk about. I want you guys to understand every single aspect of this trade